Hi, I'm Mia, and you're listening to my podcast, what I call the Universal Podcast. I call it the Universal Podcast because, well, we talk about anything and everything. I mean, isn't that what the universe is? So, have fun, tune in, and as all the other basic people say, and now me, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, or podcast, I guess. Thanks. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mia. You probably already know that, but if you don't know, well, now you know. And that's it, you know? Okay, so let's talk about some stuff. Since my last episode, okay, it's been wild. We'll put it that way. Okay, so basically, it's just crazy seeing positive feedback, I guess. Like, I didn't think that you guys would actually genuinely like this and listen to it. But I'm happy that you guys enjoy it because that's just what I'm kind of going for here. So let's see. Honestly, today I want to throw it back a little, you know? Like, I want to talk about something that is like, it's just glorious, you know? Let's go back. Let's picture this, okay? 2012. All right? Let's just talk about 2012. When you guys think 2012, what do you think about? All right? Because I think about some pretty whack stuff when I think about 2012. You know? When I think of 2012, I don't really I just think of YouTube. That's kind of the thing that I really think about. If you and I'm not talking about that movie 2012, that's just no. Okay? I'm thinking about what was it? Year of the Dragon. Alright? You look up 2012 year in review, alright? What comes up when you think about it? What do you think happens, okay? What happens? You know? Facebook went public. You know, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and Snapchat had huge growth like crazy. Silicon Valley was going crazy. Media and politics and just culture in itself was just changing, okay? You know, the Pope joined Twitter, okay? And now, memes kind of started happening, you know? They were probably already a thing, but memes started butchering everything, you know? Then there's all of the, political stuff, you know? But when I think of, when I think of 2012, I think of memes, okay? I don't know about you, but it's kind of crazy to see how the world has changed in the past few years, right? It's 2019, and a lot of stuff has changed, but I mean, in retrospect, a lot of stuff hasn't changed. A lot of the stuff that's happening is, it's happened a few years ago, because history repeats itself, but things like technology and medicine and stuff like that goes forward. Wow. Bigger stuff is 2 steps forward, 6 steps back. I'm not going to talk about politics or anything like that because that's just not safe territory, because someone's always going to be offended whether you believe you're politically correct or not. There's always going to be somebody who thinks you're wrong. I don't think that we should view it as that. I think that everybody should have their own opinion. I mean, as long as their opinion like is knowledgeable. Like if you know what you're talking about, then your opinion is valid. But if you're just spewing out like you just sound like you don't know what you're talking about, I'm still gonna listen to you. I'm gonna take in what you're saying, but like at the same time, I'm gonna be sort of so about it. Also, um, back to the memes thing. Sorry, but I don't know. I just feel like memes were weird then. You know, like old memes were the text memes, and now memes are like I don't even know what a meme is at this point. 2012. It's also a crazy year. Um, the Wii U came out. I'm pretty sure. I remember getting that. I had a limited edition Legend of Zelda Wii U. I don't think I got it in 2012, but I had one, right? I sold it. But dude, we're going off topic. Let's talk about that. All right. So I had this Wii U. Before I had my Wii U, I had a Wii, obviously, right? But I didn't really play on my Wii except for like The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. That's honestly really it. And like occasionally Mario Kart, but that's all I really cared about, right? But like on my DS, I had a Nintendo DS XL. I would play like Pokemon Black and White on that cuz I'm geeky, like I'm nerdy. I'll admit to it. I don't care, right? But I remember I was devastated. My cousin, we were at a swim meet. I was like 9, right? My cousin, he had my DS and he broke it. Like internal damage, screen was all wonky, sound wasn't playing, kind of stuff. I don't remember what he did to it. I just remember being livid. Right? But then I got a Nintendo 3DS. All was right with the world. I had The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, right? And then, A Link Between Worlds came out, and then so on and so forth. Majora's Mask 3D, like, just these things were coming out. Anyways, I had a PS3 too. I was that kid that was young playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 5 when it first came out. And I remember once the world was open and you could kind of go do things, I remember one of the first things that I did was I stole a car and I drove to the biggest mountain in the game, Mount Chiliad. I drove to it and jumped off, thinking there would be a parachute. There wasn't. Franklin died, but anyways, it's crazy to think that video games are viewed so negatively, but for me, they were like so positive, like I would play video games and I would feel so, like, I would feel better. It was my escape, because when I was younger, like a few years ago, I had a lot going on, right? And it was mostly just in my head, like making things. Maybe it was bad. I don't know. It was bad, but there's definitely worse. But in my head, my clarity was when I would play video games. And I remember, like, in elementary school, we would be talking about it, and a teacher being like, it rots your brain. And then we were like, it doesn't rot our brain, and we would, like, argue about it. But, I don't know, there are studies that say that video games help your brain. I mean, it depends which one it is. Like, a first-person shooter isn't gonna, like, enrich your brain, but, like, puzzle games and games that make you think and stuff, which is what I originally played growing up. Like, The Legend of Zelda was a In the dungeons you had to do puzzles, simple stuff, like common sense kind of stuff, but it, at the same time made you think, like that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just crazy to think that there are so many things that people are like, oh, that is so, so bad, but you view it as something so good, you know? Like when my dad was younger, I remember he told me, and I've also heard other people say this, like rock music or like heavy metal or whatever was viewed as like Satan music, which is crazy to think about. Like it's just music, but I mean at the same time, music can like convey so much. I Netflix came out with a movie called The Dirt, all about Motley Crue, and it was really, really good. I recommend it, but like the beginning of the movie, like Nikki Sixx, his mom was complaining about the music and him playing his guitar really loud and playing his music really loud, and like bad music, but it's not bad music. Like maybe some of the messages were kind of bad. I mean, there definitely is music where it's like it does talk about stuff like that, but it's not bad music, you know? Music is music. Musicians are musicians. Music is their way to put out what they want to put out. Me, if I want to talk about something, I could say it on here. Musicians do it through their music. And I feel like musicians or artists in general just get a lot of heat for no reason. There's this guy at my school who makes SoundCloud music, or, well, now he's making the transition to Apple Music and Spotify and stuff, which I mean is really, really cool. Like his label is putting him on that. And it's really cool. A lot of people don't like him, He's done some stuff, supposedly. Like he's just, people make him out to be a really bad person. But you know what? I respect him because he has passion. And a lot of people can't say the same. A lot of people can't, like, sit down and do something and be really, really passionate about it. So for people that are passionate about something, I respect them. And I respect myself also for being passionate about things, Some people are only passionate about one thing. Other people are passionate about a ton of stuff. I'm passionate about a ton of stuff, or I'd like to think that I am, But I think that there needs to be a divide between, like, respecting someone for what they do and just liking the person. It could be a horrible person, but you know what? If they do something and they're good at it, you have to have an ounce of respect for the fact that they can do it. That's what I think, at least. My opinion could be wrong to you, but we'll never know. I'm just saying, like, I respect him. I had a really good conversation with him today. Like, he played me some of his music. He played me a song that he said he's never going to release. And it was, I felt kind of touched. As, like, weird as that sounds. Because so many people don't like it. And I know people from my school are going to be listening to this like, Mia, why? But I don't know. I have respect for him. And I felt really warm knowing the fact that he's doing something and it makes him happy. Like, the way that he was gushing about it while he was telling me about everything was insane. I don't know, I really enjoyed the conversation. I just think that we need to, sorry, that's my hydro. As people, I think we need to be more understanding and more, open to stuff like that. The world, if you think about it, the world would be a much better place if we just allow each other to be happy and do what makes us happy and, like, just be. If we let each other just be and just chill, I feel like the world would be a much calmer place. Sure, there's still going to be bad stuff, okay? Because there's always been bad stuff. I don't think that there was ever a time where the world had absolute solitude. If scientists got it right, right? What made the world? A giant explosion, right? That's pretty violent. And violence is viewed as a bad thing. I mean, if religious people have it right, Jesus was crucified, you know? They had him pinned up on a cross. That is extremely violent. So, I mean, the world has always had bad stuff, but I feel like we gotta find those positives in order to really be happy. I struggle with it a lot. Like, I struggle with being happy and, like, being okay and all of that stuff. And I know a lot of other people that do too. But we just gotta try our best to, you know, be positive and let ourselves be happy and let ourselves just hang out, you know? If everybody on the planet were friends, no, let's just slim it down. If each person in a country, okay, so say the United States, say me, if I had another friend in each country, continent, like whatever, planet, I don't know, okay? If that were to happen, the world or the universe or anything, like it would be, that's an ounce better. Because that's, that's acceptance. That's another place that, that has made this person and enriched this person with like their culture and their values and their morals and their beliefs, and I'm taking that to heart. I have a friend that lives in another country. She's cool. She's really nice. The school system's much better over there. She lives in like Amsterdam. Oh, it's much better over there. But every place has their qualities. Like every place is better for something else. You go to a place in the world that is enriched with history. That is awesome. Every place is enriched with history, but I mean, like, you go to a place like, I don't know, ancient Greece. You go to Greece and you just see everything and you're like, wow. You go to Rome and you see the Colosseum, and it's just, you're taking that to heart. You're bringing that in. I think that we just need to be more accepting. Moral of the story. Maybe it's just me, though. Because I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with me. I know a lot of people that probably wouldn't really care if they ever had a friend from another country. Keep your circle small or whatever. I don't care. I like knowing a lot of people. I like being able to have, even if it's small talk, I like the little bit of conversation that I could have with a person. That makes me happy. Being able to talk to someone and like sit down and have a conversation. My parents wouldn't agree with me probably. But like when I'm outside of my house, then I definitely feel that. I don't know. I could be crazy. I know a lot of people that at their house they're way more talkative than they are at home. Which, I mean, that's good. You feel comfortable at home and all of that stuff. Like, kudos. I'm happy for you. I do too. Most of the time. Sometimes I just kind of feel like a turtle in its shell. But that's just me. But I am a loud person. I'm very talkative. Honestly, I've always been a loudmouth. I've always been extremely talkative. Like, I used to get in trouble with it. And it's not a bad thing. Like, if you're a talkative person and you get in trouble for it, let me tell you right now, you're not a bad person. Like, you're not a bad kid or whatever. Like, if you're at school and you get in trouble for talking, okay, you're not a bad person. You gotta know when to talk and when not to talk. And I still have trouble with that. But I'm only human, I'm gonna make mistakes. And I'm gonna, mess up. But that's just how life works. I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna do a little tip, because one of my friends said that I need to talk about how to be happy. So I'm gonna say how I try and be happy. I'm not always happy. I have a lot of weird moods. But I'm gonna say how I try and be happy, and that's how I'm gonna close this out. Surround yourself with people that make you happy. Wherever you are for the most time, make sure that you're surrounded by people and things that make you happy. And if you're not in that situation, find something that will make you happy. I've been told 1,000 times about glass half full, glass half empty mentalities. And I really, really struggle with having the glass half full mentality. But I try my best. And, sometimes I need to, because when I'm at school or even when I'm at home, a lot of people, reach out and they, ask me for help and stuff. And most of the time, I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm just going from, what's happened to me, and it's like a disclaimer, this is what works for me, it might not work for you kind of thing. But that's all I can really say. So, Stella, that one was for you. That's how I try and be happy. And maybe it'll work for you. You don't need to take my advice. None of you do. You don't even need to, take in what I'm saying. Everything is a choice. Everything comes down to that choose your pathway. Bandersnatch was like, sorry mate, wrong path. It's kind of like that. But there is no wrong path. You just do what you think is right, or you just don't think about it at all, and you just do it impulsively, which go off. But that's all I have to talk about today. I hope you guys had great days. And I hope you enjoyed this. And if you listened through the whole thing, thank you. I honestly, I try to be interesting. That's a lie. I really don't. But I do try and find things that you guys want me to talk about. So if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Yeah. Tune in next week, Fridays, 9:00 p.m. It's a fun time. So, until next time, peace out.